Debugging is an extremely important skill to have. When you implement gameplay logic, many things won't go as planned and you're often not sure why things don't work out. So instead of always having to ask others, you need to be able to look into the blueprints and figure out what's wrong by yourself. There are many different ways we can debug our game, but the easiest and most commonly used one is print string, which we already used before. We actually already did a little bit of debugging here by printing a string when the cast fails. Print strings can be very useful to show you which path of execution your nodes are taking. Print strings can also be very useful for showing us which values are being used. For example, before we set the speed increase of this instance only to 5000. So let's say we play the game and we notice that this one makes us faster than the others, and we forgot that we set it to a different value before. One way to debug this would be to go in here and before increasing the speed or after increasing the speed, putting in a print string. And here we can print the value of the speed increase. Now we can see that here we get 500, 500, and if we touch this, we get 5000. So this shows us that something is going wrong, and we're getting a different value than we expected. So now that we know that we're getting a different value than expected for speed increase, we can check the variable here, and we can see that the default value is 500, so everything looks fine here. But we can also see that it's instance editable. And this will give us a hint that somebody maybe changed a value here, which we actually did before. So to debug, we can now just put it back to 500, and we just used print string to solve a problem that we had. And of course, for this example, this was something we created ourselves, but many times something will go wrong that you just don't know what's going on. However, as you become more experienced, there's also many other debugging methods you can use. For my beat 'em up game, I made overhead labels that always show the current state of the character. This helped me get rid of issues such as the character not getting up anymore or being frozen in place. So instead of just asking somebody right away, try to figure out the issue yourself first by using print strings. In the next chapter, we're gonna go over the Paper 2D basics.